Alright, time to talk about adding and subtracting rational expressions. Take this example, we would want to first factor everything, which would give us a 2 times an x minus 1 on the bottom because this only has a GCF of 2. The right side does not factor at all. Now you see we need to get an LCD, which means I need to figure out what this fraction does not have that this one does. You can see that I'm missing the 2, so I'll need to put a 2 on the right side to make it a least common denominator. Now I'll have to multiply the 2 times the 5x, and that'll get me this 10x up here, and then the 2 on the bottom with the x minus 1. Now these have a least common denominator, so I can go ahead and combine my like terms. 4x plus 10x would get me 14x, and that is all over the least common denominator of 2 times x minus 1. Now it says simplify if possible. Now we can look at this and see a 14 over 2 would simplify down to 7 over 1, and we do not need to write the 1 in front of the x minus 1. And this would be my final answer. If we're going to do a little bit more complex of a problem, we would want to take this and see the p plus 4 on the left and a p minus 1 on the right. We'll factor everything, but it is already factored, so we don't need to really do this step. So we go to the LCD. The left side would need this p minus 1, and the right side would need the p plus 4. So I'll go ahead and put those on the left and the right. You notice I put it over itself, which is essentially multiplying this fraction by 1 and not changing its value. I will then need to distribute the 2 to the p minus 1 and the 5 to the p plus 4, and that will get me 2p minus 2 and 5p plus 20. Now since this is a subtraction sign right here, I'm going to distribute the subtraction and change it to a plus. So I'm going to make that a negative 5p and a negative 20 and change the middle minus sign to a plus sign. This just makes sure that I remember that this is actually a negative 20. It's kind of confusing sometimes. We miss it up here when we were to just combine our like terms. A lot of people would say negative 2 and a positive 20 would make an 18, where in fact it's a negative 2 and a negative 20, which would combine together to get negative 22. 2p plus negative 5 would get me the negative 3p. Now since there's nothing in common, I can't pull anything out of this, and I cannot factor the top and cancel anything with any of the factors on the bottom. So this would be my simplified answer.